Hello everybody, my name is Gabriel Brent and welcome to the APA Zones forecast and review for July 29th, for the week of July 29th. So we will be looking at what we've done in previous videos and the small um, vacation or a lapse that we've had due to my recent illness, and get back into the groove of things and seeing where the market's going to be heading, as where we've seen the market come from. So let's get started. So getting over or moving over to TF, I should say, or looking back at what we had in TF a few weeks ago, we were seeing a new breakout of the Russell 2000. So as you can see here, we are looking at that highlighted level as we're breaking new highs. We're looking at an area of consolidation and a breakout of that. And if we look at what has happened since then, not only did we get a breakout of that area and that really big zone forming down there, but we have made nothing but higher highs. And you can kind of see where we are over here as we're retesting these levels here. Okay, so we've had a couple good bounces off of this zone down here, 1 and 2. And actually really a first bounce over here, like the retest and failure to break the low. The zone was formed, and I would say that really identifies the area of consolidation that we have in this range over here on the right hand side, starting on about 716. And so we've moved down into the zone, and now it looks like we're getting a little bit of a retracement back up to the upside. So look for areas of consolidation, kind of like with this stuff right in here. There may be something right in that area, as well as going to the upside. And again, this is a 4-hour chart, so this is big perspective, big time frames. These moves can take quite a while, you know. And obviously we've had a couple different failures to break the high on this thing, and a nice drop since then. So that is what I'm looking at. And just to make sure everybody's on the same page here, we do have a zone down there at 1030.3, just below us, so that we can see all the supply and demand levels on our chart. So we have a good understanding of where price could move. If price does come back down here, it is very possible that it could find resistance and break down. So we will see what happens. Moving right along, let's go over to crude oil. And we had seen $100 in crude oil, and we were looking to the upside here. So we had a couple good bounces off of a daily zone, it looked like, that we talked about. And really the next zone on the chart was 110. So we are looking for a big push up. If we can get through that 104 level, we're looking for a big push up to 110. So let's go ahead and see what has transpired since then. Okay, well, it looks like not only did we move to the upside, but we really moved to the upside quite well. We haven't made it all the way up to the 110 level yet, but we've made it about 3/4 of the way. A good 3/4 of the way, almost up to 109 actually. So we beat the previous 104 level, and we just kept on trucking. It was right around the 104.12 level, which is where we have seen that price again, and kind of looking at that, there is definitely something right around in this range here, at the 104 level, that price keeps on finding resistance and support on. Lately, it's been finding a lot of support right around that level, so we can see what that looks like. So, but that's there's definitely something right around in that range for us. So you'll have to excuse my CL chart because I do like to trade crude oil. So I do draw quite a little bit on here, different trend lines and all kinds of stuff on there. Zones at the time, looking at 60-minute levels are usually what these different areas will be highlighted as and whatnot. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. I would say that we definitely have some room to well, both kind of up to the up and downside at this particular time in space. I think we could easily get our money bounce off of this zone here and go up. But I also think that we've been making a lot of lower lows here. The trend line really hasn't been drawn like I like to draw trend lines, but something right around in this fashion here. If we're looking to play the channel, so to speak, is where I'd be kind of looking at. And I'm just going to connect it to the lows down here. So it's kind of the channel that I see us in right now. So we kind of need a break out of this channel in order for us to really do something here. So that is the crude oil market and where we could see price moving around here in this coming week. Moving over to the ES, we were looking at price going higher as price found support, and we were looking at a retest of the 1650 level, and it just moving higher and higher and higher. Notice that both of these zones have been hit more than once because we know the money bounce causes zones to be blue, and if this zone is purple right here, that means price has bounced on it several times. So the more times price hits a zone, the weaker and weaker it gets. So let's see what has transpired. So I went ahead and highlighted the two big zones that we saw in the previous price action, all the way up there to 1680. And so you can kind of see like we've definitely moved through those here on the ES chart. You can kind of see that we did get some stutter action as price first retested that level, and kind of bounced off of it again, and then came up and really spent a lot of time slowly pounding through this level. So that is definitely interesting. And it looks like the bottom range of this level is actually reversed or turned around on us. So instead of it being resistance, now it's support. So we're looking at all that support coming in there around 1672. Okay, so that's how I kind of see things. And again, Apozones does it all automatically for us, so that we can spend more time analyzing the market and less time looking at supply and demand and support and resistance. Notice that we had a nice little double touch of the 1672 level here on the 4-hour time frame, and two positive kick ups from it, two positive bounces, if you will, and really a third bounce, or the money bounce, as we like to call it, that was right over here. This is our money bounce trade. So we got we made the new low down here, and then we came up off of this area to retest the highs and really broke through the highs with some vigor. So looks like the market is on its way to retest this area right now. But we do have some zones up here that have been bounced on once, so every time the zone gets bounced on, the weaker and weaker it gets. But make sure that you're not standing in front of the bus as the price action bus comes into the bus stop. Make sure that you have the right price action to confirm your moves to and from these areas as price moves around them. So we are breaking new highs. Personally speaking, I think this market could go all the way up to about 1730 to 1750. But only the future will tell. So we will see how things transpire here. Moving over to the euro, it looked like we had found support down here around in the 128 level, and a number of bounces off this level. So looking to retest the areas of supply just above us. So let's go ahead and see what has transpired since then. Well, here's the 128 level, and yeah, we definitely found a lot of good support down there, and it's really kicked up since then. So if we look at the old level of oh, this 134.13 level, like that's really not all that far away already. And we're coming back up there with a vengeance, so to speak. So that will definitely be interesting. So um, right now we're finding a lot of good support as the market's making um, new highs, but we're looking for that level again to hold some resistance for us. So right now I feel like the market could come down here, and very well may, just with the way things are looking, and I really wouldn't be surprised if we did find maybe some support down here and retested that 134 level again. But we will see what happens over the past few days. These have been really, really small bars, very, very tight and consolidated there. So maybe something new is happening, but these are the levels that we will be watching. And again, a lot of these levels do have a number of bounces on them already. So we've definitely spent a lot of time bouncing back and forth from all these different levels here. So I do think that there's an up bias, but only time will tell. Alright, so this week we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to take corn out of the picture for a little bit, mostly because I want to make sure I do some reading about the corn market and when everything's going to expire before I really continue talking about it, just to make sure I know which contract to use and whatnot. But we're going to change things around and start looking at the NQ. Alright, and with the NQ, obviously we've been making the move to the upside here, as well with all the other indexes, but it's slightly different than a lot of the other indexes just because it is the market that it is. Okay, so on the 4-hour time frame, this is really what we were kind of looking at here. We are looking at the retests of the highs, and it really has failed to break that high, and this level up in this range here. So because it's failed to break it, obviously getting short today really wasn't that bad of a call. However, it does look like it's still kind of keeping with the uptrend, and looks like it wants to give it another stab now. This is our money bounce here. so we want to be aware of that. Um, and we did get a reaction off of this 4 hour zone off of our money bounce. It may not be the move down to the downside that we want it to, but it was a good profitable reaction, and that's really what we're looking for, the NQ is making new highs. If we look over into our freestockcharts.com page, we can actually see a little bit different perspective here. And you can see that we're really pushing into a new level, but looks like we're on a weekly level. This is monthly and weekly levels here that we're looking at. So, and you can kind of see if we do a move, the first wave from 2009 lows into 2010, and we duplicate that and just put it at the highs of 2000, or the high there of 2010, that top of that leg. We are looking somewhere right around in that range as far as the as high as price could possibly go. Now we do have a big monthly level up above us here on NQ, so just realize that, and we'll see what happens, we're looking close to 4,000 before we get that level, and it's very possible now that we've beaten this previous level for us to move into that 4,000 level. It's really not that far away in NQ terms. So we will see what happens there, and just be watching that together. So, but again, that's on the big monthly chart, and as day traders and swing traders, so we really don't need to be watching a big monthly chart, but it's nice to give us some context, um, that things to the upside may not be over. It's very easy to get very bull or bearish with so much news and world events, but this up move may not be done yet. So we will just continue to watch, and if you're day trading, keep it in the back of your head, tucked away, nicely filed back there in the recesses of your mind, and don't let it affect your trade setups on a daily perspective, but just know what we're looking at in the big picture there. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope that this has been helpful, and you better understand support and resistance, and once you add time to it, supply and demand. So we will catch you next week as we do our review of this week's session, as well as our forecast into next week's price action. So thanks everybody for joining us, and God bless.